Oh, cool. Changing the tool. Yeah. That's so cool. That's great. If there's any trade show in the world where you could go and put together all the pieces to make a watch, it's EPHJ. It's actually the same venue, it's called PAL Expo, where Watches and Wonders is, but it's completely different for normal trade shows like this. You just see the bare warehouse look and then the individual booths. But there's two ways to make a watch. There's like the Philippe Dufour method, which is you make the watch entirely yourself. And then there's kind of the Swatch Group method, which is the industrial process. And Swatch Group isn't just swatches, it's also they own Omega, they own Blancpain, Breguet, Longines. So their watches are made by, like 99.9% of all the watches in the world are made by industrial processes. And this trade show is the trade show of those processes. So if you come here, if you knew nothing about watchmaking, but you have money and you wanted to make your own watch, you could come here and put together all the pieces. And the first thing you would do is look for a movement. So the big movement company for years was ETA, which is owned by Swatch Group, but they stopped selling outside of their group in 2010, I think. And since then, it's been Sellita, which used to be a supplier of theirs, that makes the clones of the kind of final generation of ETA movements, the 2824-2, the 2892, I think, and the Valjoux 7750, which is the chronograph. So but Sellita's not here, but there are other vendors here that make movements. And so you can buy an off-the-shelf movement from Sellita for a few $100s, or you can pay somebody to make the movement for you. And one of the companies that you can pay to make the movement for you is Chronode. Hey, how's it going? I'm back. You guys are in Le Loc or Le Chaux-de-Fonds? Le Loc.
Yeah. Right in front of Zenith.
Right in front of Zenith, that's right. So Chronode is a movement developer in Le Loc, and people come to them with something that they want to make, a movement with certain complications, and they can make it for them and try to meet their cost and the complexity. And these are Chronode movements that are kind of their standard base movements, but they can design completely bespoke movements that have nothing to do with these, or they can do variations of these with complications or decoration, personalization. And the enduring thing in a movement is like the position of all the parts. So you can have like the same train of wheels, the same layout of everything, and you can still do a lot of customization to make the movement look the way you want, as long as the bridge plates reach the appropriate locations. So that's a way to do a movement that's going to cost less to manufacture because it's based on an existing movement. And then if you want to go into like doing a completely new movement, you can lay it out however you want, and in some cases certain complications would obviously require that, and then they can go through the whole design process with you. I love what you guys do. It's probably at the core of my interest, so hope to see you again sometime. Now the other way to make a movement is to actually design it in 3D software like Solidworks. I know Solidworks or a distributor of theirs is here somewhere. Okay, so there's Solidworks. And I don't really want to get into conversation with them, But basically, you can use this software to design parts and entire movements. And Solidworks is the company that makes software that they use to design airplanes and cars, and it does all the simulation, physics simulations and all that. Actually, here there's Dubois Depraz, which is also a movement maker, and they've been around for a long time. They're in the Vallée de Joux, and they make movements, and they also make modules that go on top of movements that add chronograph functionalities to a standard movement and that kind of thing. Okay, so back to, if you're doing it, if you're making your own movement, after designing in 3D, you can print the 3D prototypes of your parts. You can do rapid prototyping, 3D printing of parts. Bonjour, how are you?
Good, good. Can I explain anything to you?
No, your company is called Proform.
Yeah.
And you do, you provide machines or services?
Services,
Okay.
service provider.
Cool.
We're specialized in these small parts.
Uh-huh.
That's what we are doing.
Can I take a card? And a brochure, maybe? Where's Marley?
Next to Fribourg,
Okay.
here in Switzerland.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
The next thing is to actually make the main plates.
Schaublin is a 115-year-old company that made the Schaublin 70 and the 102 lathes, and they still make them actually, but they also make CNC machines. So this is a recent CNC.
This head back there with the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8. How does it? Because I see this one working. What does that one do? It can come forward, or the workpiece can go back, or
Normally, this one is one option. The spindle is 40,000 RPM.
yeah,
So if I remove, you have only
Yeah.
the turret, but now I'm using the two.
more.
So more is moving at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I come like this. I can close my tool
Yeah, yeah.
and come for machining.
Yeah. And what's special about this one? Why is this one different? Because it's faster, or 40,000?
RPM.
Yeah.
So on the turret, I have 6,000
Okay.
RPM.
Yeah.
This is for high-speed machining.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so 6,000 RPM for the multi head, and 40,000
Exactly. On
RPM.
8,000 for the main spindle.
8,000 on the spindle.
It's an electro spindle.
Uh-huh.
So I can maybe show you. I'm running 3,000 now.
Oh, wow.
The sound is very
Yeah.
good. So I cannot running in the maximum because if you see the part,
It'll tear it apart.
it's not good
Out of
for
balance.
the balance.
Mhm.
So I running in maybe I try in 5. Five.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. But the sound is very good. It's perfect.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
I hope someday I come see you in
No, Bevillage.
Bevillard.
Bevillage is a...
Bien.
Exactly.
Okay. Nice
Sure.
meeting you, Jerome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, you too.
Merci.
So the next stop is Willemin-Macodel. This is a company in Delamont that makes CNC machines. And this machine is, it stocks parts with the yellow robotic arm back there, and it moves them into the milling apparatus, and it does tool changes. So you can see the robotic arm in the back, and this is in demo mode, so it's just doing moving parts around, measuring parts, and occasionally slipping them through that window there on the left into the milling apparatus. Most of these industrial CNC machines have inventory management, so they can process hundreds of pieces sequentially without human intervention once everything's set up. And this one's no exception. But basically, the whole reason that you need to use CNC for main plates is because the main plates have to be so precise, the alignment of the jewels at the top and the bottom of every pivot and balance staff, whatever, it all has to line up perfectly. So the tooling and the placement of everything, you can see there it's measuring a plate on pins that fix it positionally on the horizontal axis. That may be just prepping for the arm to grab it, but that same kind of locating systems can be used in the machine.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't see that when it's, those are the finished parts. Can you predict when it's going to put a new plate? Can you tell me a moment before?
It's open. Yes, it's open.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Oh, cool. Changing the tool. Yeah. That's so cool. That's great. That's this, yeah, the plate going back.
So this is the tool changing robot part of the machine. You can see on the lower right there's a cylinder with little bits sticking up. So when there's a tool change, that flexible chain is connected to a head that comes back and grabs a different tool and then pushes it forward into the milling machine. And you can see the parts control robot working in the background there. These are the individual tool slots numbered there where you can put different tools in. And here's a final finished part from the demo. So this next machine is a larger machine, also by Willemin-Macodel, and it's this one does cases. So here are some finished samples that they're machining today. Case back, case, and bezel. And this system, it's kind of the same thing. This is just a much bigger machine. It has the tool changing setup back here. And then we come around to the front. Here's the milling area. Now, you might have just seen there was a tool change before, but the tool change on this is so fast. Look at that. It's crazy. So here you can see this whole machine. On the left is a feeder for the raw stock coming in. Behind the screen is the tool changer, and then the center window is the milling apparatus. And on the right is the parts or inventory management system. So it's got these different heads. You can cut the, after making, for example, a case or whatever on the end of that stock, you can slice it off and move on to the next one. Here you can see where it can store hundreds of finished parts. So again, on this one, the raw stock comes in on the left, and then the finished parts come out and get racked up here on the right. So that was Willemin-Macodel, Swiss company. And this next one is Chiron Group, which is a German company. And this Micro 5 CNC machine kind of is the same concept in terms of three parts of the process. The parts feeder on the right there, the milling machine in the center, and then the tool changer on the left. So that was Chiron Group, and then the next one here is Tornos, which is a Swiss company. And this Swiss Nano, this has a feed on the left that can feed up to 5 meters of bar stock. So it feeds it into that collet there from behind it sequentially to do screws or whatever. And this can make long runs like hundreds or thousands of screws up to 10 millimeter in diameter. And then this is an even larger Tornos. This accommodates up to 16 millimeter bar stock and has up to 27 tools for making even more complex and larger parts. And to tie that factory floor automation all together, there's a company called Stäubli that makes robotic arms, which are integrated by a lot of other companies into industrial processes, such as inventory management and factory floor automation, moving parts from position to position along an assembly line, etc. So if you don't want to use CNC and make your own cases, you can also have a company like Werthanor make cases for you. They make cases Hublot, Tiffany, and this is an example of how this trade show is really it's really comprehensive in terms of you like I said at the beginning, you could come here with enough money and you could make anything or have anything made. This is a watch dial company that makes watch dials the traditional ways. And they have a prestigious list of clients in the independent world and also Vacheron Constantin and other prestigious brands. You can also find equipment here, like from Schmid Machines, to make your own dials, or print them anyway. This is a pad printer. It picks up the ink on one side and then deposits it on the dial on that rubber, whatever you call it.
It's okay for you?
Yeah, I just have a question.
Yes.
Where does it pick up the ink?
You put ink here?
Yeah. This
Inside.
applies the ink. Right. It's inside, like I understand.
And the ink
Yeah,
in the gravure.
it leaves it there and then it puts it there.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
Okay. Maybe, yeah.
And this is a hand tool that does the same thing without the automation. You put the ink on the right side and the dial on the left.
So you put the plate here,
Exactly.
you apply the ink, and then
Yes.
you scrape it off, and
Yeah,
then you slide
good.
that. Mhm.
Comme ça.
Wait. Cool.
These are finishing machines, also made by Schmid Machines. This is for perlage, and that's like a spinning abrasive cylinder that makes the circle patterns on the watch. So after you make your own movement, you can buy these machines and decorate it.
Ça se lisse un petit peu en séchant. Mais par contre, du fait de l'émulsion, je vais pouvoir mettre beaucoup plus d'épaisseur. Ouais. Le produit se dépose, on peut gérer. Tandis qu'en décale, le cliché de 2 centimes de profond.
Si c'est perlage.
Oui, je comprenais.
Vous avez compris, oui, c'est
J'ai
très bien.
compris.
Oui. Et ici, c'est Côte de Genève.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
One by one,
Yes.
or
Step by step.
uh-huh.
This is kind of
fait 10 fois, mais vous en prenez un peu avec. Et il faut aller le sécher entre deux. Donc le process est beaucoup plus long.
Et ici, vous faites aussi Côte de Genève.
Donc
Donc là, il y a une marque, je peux pas vous la montrer.
Celle-ci
Celle-ci peut-être.
Ça reste phosphorescent la nuit et tout ça, donc beaucoup d'activités. Du coup, vous faites 10-15 ans.
This is also called Côte de Genève. Oh no, same name.
Same name, Côte de Genève, but
Par contre, plus
I
précis,
don't know
plus
in
fin.
English.
Sunburst or something, yeah. Radial.
Et ici, vous avez, hop là, ici, vous avez du perlage.
Très bien. C'est très intéressant.
This is a screen printing machine for applying luminous paint to dials.
Ici, vous avez une raclée et la raclée, elle tourne. Turn.
To
And-
push it in.
And the luminous matter up on the drills.
It's basically just like t-shirt printing. You put the paint on the plate and then squeegee it and then press it on the dial. And this is an abrasive paper machine that does snailing, for example, on a mainspring barrel. So the abrasive paper turns on one side of the barrel as the barrel turns and creates that traditional pattern on the barrel. So those were all from Schmid Machines. And then this next machine is a more automated system of doing the same thing.
So this is a polyvalent machine, meaning it has all the tools in one for
Rewitech.
Côte de Genève, perlage.
So this is interesting because these are basically hand finishing techniques, but this system automates those techniques.
So that machine was made by Rewitech, and that's an automated system that does most of the things except for pad printing that Schmid Machines, various machines do.
So once you got your movement, your case, your dial, and you're ready to assemble it all, these machines lubricate movements automatically. Now I'm kind of joking because if you were making your own watch, you probably couldn't afford these machines. You would just lubricate it by hand. But in a factory setting, these machines are very interesting because if you're producing millions of watches like Rolex or Swatch Group, it's simply too much work required for individual watchmakers to apply all the lubrication at the end of the movement, manufacture, and assembly process. So EPHJ has like so many vendors beyond those that I've shown you here, and really it is everything you can imagine that you could possibly need to make a watch.
Yuxel. I'm trying to make a video now, but I'm failing. Your stuff looks great, though.
Oh, thanks. Same story.
So Yuxel makes this microscope. I think last year I did a video about it, so I'll put a link to that. But it's incredible. Can you put my watch on there?
Yeah, sure.
It should be buckled, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that looks great.
Is it something you built? Or?
No, actually, I put it in the case, but it's some watchmaker. I was trying to focus. Some student or watchmaker did that skeletonization, and then I bought it Ricardo.
Wow.
But I want to do the same thing. I want to learn how to, to do. The movement originally was solid, and they cut out all the little, cut it out so you can see what's going on in there. But that's my goal, is to be able to do that. So I bought 7 main plates of the same movement,
Okay.
and then I bought another watch, the same watch. So I should be able to. I have 7 chances to get it right.
I love it. It looks. It's a little bit of the do-it-yourself.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the mistakes that person made. It's very rough, but those mistakes give me an opportunity to try to do better. And also, I have a small CNC machine,
Oh, okay.
so I can try different methods. Like, that was probably done with a coping saw.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You could also try to do it with a milling machine or a milling attachment on a lathe. And then finally, like a small CNC machine, because it's not the same tolerances as it, obviously,
Yeah.
as if you were making the main plate yourself, because the jewels and everything they will have to be perfect.
Yeah.
But all those other cuts, just cosmetic, really.
All right, thanks for watching. I make these videos just for fun. It's not professionally done. It's easy for me to film, and I learn a little bit more when I review and edit. But sorry for the poor production, and I hope you enjoyed watching it.
Parce que en fait, pour l'instant, on distribue